What is up guys, Andy Forrester, Dean Runner here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm giving you an update on the Takumi Sen 9 after 100 miles. So this is right up there with one other shoe, the Brooks Hyperion Max, as two of my favourites this year, standouts. They are incredible, and this is by far my favourite non-plated shorter distance workout shoe that I have tested in a long time. And yet, I love the Streak Fly from Nike, but I have to say I prefer this shoe. As with all 100-mile update videos, we're going to be going through the wear and tear, how I've been using them, and of course, will I use them moving forwards. And at the end, I want to talk about why these two shoes in particular stand out from the crowd. I get asked a lot in terms of the Hyperion Max, which one would you choose? We'll talk about the pros and cons of both of them at the end and how I've been using them. So if you're excited for today's video, guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. Let's dive in to the wear and tear. So other than a racing shoe where you might see a little bit of decrease in performance with the midsole foam because they're not obviously designed to last for too long, you don't want to be seeing anything crazy going on at 100 miles, and that's certainly the case with this thing. You'll have to excuse it, it is a little bit muddy, but overall the upper is holding up really well. No snags, no tears, no frays, no nothing. Everything is feeling good after 100 miles, and I have to say, even the midsole foam, I just kind of feel like the midsole foam, this Light Strike Pro, it just feels indestructible. Like, I feel no difference in performance from when I got it out of the box for the first run compared to now. I just feel like this thing is going to be able to go on and on and on. If the upper holds out and the grip stays good, then everything else is going to stay really strong. So in terms of wear and tear, not really much more to say other than it's doing amazing. So how have I been using this shoe? Well, let me give you some information on the type of workouts and stuff I've been doing, the distance I've taken it up to, where I probably wouldn't go with it, and where this thing really excels. Bar one run, which was an easy, steady run the day before a race, which I decided to just take it out there and see what it felt like at easy paces and moderate paces because I was quite curious. And that was a simple, easy to moderate progression over 30 minutes. It was nothing crazy and some strides at the end. Well, it flew in the strides as it always does, but easy paces it was all right, but moderate pace it was really quite nice. So maybe I might do some more moderate running in this shoe, which is zone 2 running. It did that really well, to be fair, but otherwise I have exclusively used this thing for workouts only, mainly through my 10k training block. I think I've done one workout in it in my recent half marathon training. Actually, maybe I don't think I have actually. I think it was just purely 10k training stuff. And the 10k training workout started off very small, short, sharp intervals, and they progressed as we got through the block to longer stuff. And the most distance I put in this shoe, I think including warm up and cool down, is around 11 or 12 miles. And I've gone down to as short as sort of like 5 or 6 miles, depending on if it's like a cutback week or whatever. So it excels in that range. I've never wanted to take this thing for a long run. I don't feel it's got enough about it for a long run. I would choose the Adidas Pro 3 for that. Just a little bit more cushioning and a little bit more, I don't know, I feel like that thing's geared up for long runs. It's a long distance racing shoe, isn't it, at the end of the day? So I would always choose the Pro, and I feel like you get kind of some good ground contact feel this. Despite the stack height in it, which is relatively decent, I do feel like it's a lower to the ground racing shoe. Definitely, as I said, for those 5-10k areas, which is where it's marketed. And for me, I've got to say, like, that's where it will stay. I don't ever anticipate putting more than like 80, 90 minutes worth of work in it. So whatever distance I cover in that time will be that. Other than that, that will do just fine. And my legs don't ever feel beat up in the shoe. The cushioning is amazing. I love Light Strike Pro. But with this level, as in the stack height, I never feel like it particularly cushions the legs or babies the legs. So it's there, it does a job, and that job is amazing in that specific area of fast workouts. And that's how I've been using it. So will I continue to use this shoe after 100 miles? Absolutely. There is no reason for me to stop using this shoe after 100 miles. It feels indestructible. I'm sure as I get to 200, 300, 400 miles, I'll find things start to change a little bit in the shoe, but at the moment, the midsole foam is just delicious. It's amazing. Everything about this shoe is great. I really cannot fault it. And actually, in my lineup at the moment, bar the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3, which I kind of blow hot and cold on. I really find the Speed 3, the version 3 now, has kind of dialed itself back a bit and is better at slower paces. This is the best shoe I have in my lineup that's also non-plated, I must add. I know it's got energy rods in it, but I try and avoid carbon plates where I can, and I have a lot of shoes at the moment that I am using as carbon plates, but that's for testing purposes. As I go on, I will definitely migrate back to this thing. It's the best I've got in my lineup, and I think, to be honest with you, I could have a whole host of other shoes in there, and I would probably still gravitate towards this one anyway. This is a massive standout for me. So yeah, it's going to be taking on, as I journey into this half marathon training block, it will be taking on far more workouts there as well, probably the shorter ones. There are some longer ones that are going to start to appear in my half marathon block, and I will probably tinker with this shoe in those and see how they do over like a course of an hour or 70 minutes in one workout. We'll see how they get on, but overall I've got to say there's absolutely no reason for me to stop using this shoe. So here they are together. These are my two favourite shoes that I have tested this year. It's like Kipchoge and Kiptum coming together at marathon starting line. To be honest with you, like, these two have been standouts for me. So why and what's the difference? I just wanted to add this section in because, to be honest with you, I get questions all the time about like my favourite shoes of the year so far, what stands out. And yeah, these two are absolutely in there. Now, the reason these two stand out for me, I think, is because they just don't overcomplicate things. If you think of it that way, they don't overcomplicate anything in terms of like the design, the structure of the shoe. They just do the job, and they do the blooming job well, and that's all I'm looking for. As someone that just likes to keep trying to stack up week after week after week of training, I'm just looking for shoes that are going to do a good job. And the Hyperion Max for me was solid throughout marathon training. 416 miles in this shoe. Retired it in the end, but it basically took the majority of my long run workouts, and that's where this thing excels over the Takumi Sen. This is very specific for me on shorter distance fast work. Definitely would consider racing in it. I'd love to, I genuinely would. I've said it before, I'd love to race in this thing over a 5 or 10k at some point. But I've got a lot of racing shoes that I want to do that with, so it may or may not get that chance. But overall, like, this thing is, in its area, is absolutely phenomenal, and I've not run in a shoe as good as this when it comes to shorter, sharper workouts. This is an all-round monster. I could do easy runs, moderate runs. Like, when you're talking to daily trainers, I produced a daily trainer video. This is it for me. For someone that runs majority of zone 2, a little sprinkling of zone 1, and then a lot of workouts, this is the best. I had a lot of comments on that daily trainer video saying, daily trainer, that's not a daily trainer. I'm like, for me it is. It does absolutely everything I wanted it to. Adds a little bit more comfort and cushioning in and around the back there. It's got a little bit more about it. This is a lot more lightweight. You can see a little bit less cushioning at the back there. So in terms of what they do and why they're my favourites, they don't overcomplicate things, they do their jobs well. This is an incredible speed monster. This is an incredible all-round shoe. And to be honest with you, if you just said you could have two shoes all year, I wouldn't hesitate but to say these are the two that I would choose. So there we go, those are my thoughts on the Adidas Takumi Sen after 100 miles. Other shoes, as I highlighted in this area, Puma Liberate Nitro, New Balance SC Pacer, Streak Fly, this one, now the Brooks Hyperion. There's a lot of shoes within this category which are, I'm not even going to say low stack because it's not, but low end 30s, high 20s, low end 30s, that just give a little bit more ground contact feel than what we're used to in the bigger, plusher stack shoes. And to be honest with you, out of all of them that I've tested, which is the Puma Liberate Nitro, the Streak Fly, and this one, this thing, it really does stand out. Like, it is incredible, and I couldn't recommend this shoe highly enough. Now, I've been told that 8 is extremely similar. There's barely any change to it. I know you guys can grab that on discount, and I've seen a lot of people grab this one on discount too. If you see it on discount, please don't hesitate. Like, I'm not affiliated with Adidas. I don't get any kickback or anything. I'm just saying, you will be amazed if you get to try out this shoe. If you're a shorter distance kind of training person, you like shorter, sharper workouts, this will be the one for you to try. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And of course, for the people that have been testing it a lot longer than me, I'd love to hear how many miles you have in your Takumi Sen 9. Please do drop them in the comments below. Getting some great feedback on a lot of shoe reviews lately of people just adding in how many miles they've done, how it's holding up. It's so invaluable to everyone else out there. I hope other people go and read the comments and can pick up information, because if someone comments saying, oh, I got 300 in it and it's fallen apart, that's really useful to someone else. I'm not there yet. I may or may not get there. And so that comment might really help somebody else deciding whether they want to invest in it or not. So there we go. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you on the next one. Until then.